Hey you guys, welcome back to Stella's Knife Obsession. I have another episode of Who Wore It Better. This is courtesy of a big supporter of the channel, so thank you. You know who you are. So I'm going to do the Kubi Drake today. And as you can see, there are two different size drakes here. And let's see what the difference in length is. So the orange one is, let's just hold it and do it, huh? Let's make it easier. Come on, Stella. All right, let's see what we got going on here. So we have 8.5 inches on the orange. And let's see. Come on, get in there. Okay. A little over 7.5 inches on the smaller one, so about an inch in difference in length. It looks to me like the tallness of the blade is roughly the same. Yes, it is. How about the handle? Little difference in not very much at all though, a couple millimeters. This one is contoured though, so sometimes that would mean everything to a purchaser, I would think. I know a lot of people prefer contoured handles over flat, so that is going to be like a individual. It's up to your individual taste as far as that goes. In my taste, it varies though. It's been different from knife to knife, whether it's contoured or not. It's basically about how it feels in the hand, really. I noticed that there are times when I actually prefer contoured over flat scales, but I just find that I'm not real picky about it as far as if it's flat and it feels good in my hands, then it is how it is, you know. It is what it is. But as you can see, both of them have that forward finger choil, or maybe just a large sharpening choil. This one has a little bit more of a corner on it than this one. So I really wonder why they did so many different drakes. Let's see, I know this is S30V and this one is AUS 10, so the steel right there is there's a big difference in steel, but as you can see, the finish is exactly the same. It's kind of that bead blasted blade, whatever. Or glass blasted, whatever it is, sand blasted. They both have this little kind of swedge. They're both a reverse type Tonto type of blade, or modified Warnscliffe, whatever, sheep's cliff, whatever. So this one obviously has more belly than this one, so more standard Warncliffe style blade on this one. Even though it still has a little belly. I don't know. I guess I would probably call that a reverse Tonto. Let's see if there's one that works better. So that one works very nicely, the cutout in that blade. Let's check this one out. This one. Wait. Yeah, so obviously, okay. This one definitely works better with the reverse flick action. It's fantastic actually. I really like it. Let's check that action. Very nice action though. What's this one all about? This has a very smooth hydraulic feel to it, which I love so much. It's just, it's like that feeling you get when you feel how slow and soft it just falls, you know. So let's check the thumb action as far as the slot. So that one's pretty easy. Kind of have to get up against the scale though, whereas this one you don't have to do that with. See what I mean? Here, I'll show you. So there's that. So as you can see, This one is hugging the scale a little bit. This one is completely free. It's completely open, which makes it easier in both aspects. So you can definitely thumb roll it better and reverse flick better. So this one, you kind of have to get it going first and then thumb roll. But the thumb roll on this is so incredibly smooth. See, that's why the reverse flick doesn't work very well on this one. So the flipper action is pretty decent. Let's check this one. Also very snappy. I think in action, this one definitely beats the longer Kubi, no doubt. And if we were going off of steel, I would prefer this over the AUS 10, the S30V, any day of the week over AUS 10. Even though I feel they have very similar edge retention, I would still prefer the S30V because I feel in the long run it would just end up being the better steel. But that's not something I usually like to compare when it's who wore it better. I think it's mostly about looks and possibly functionality, but that's pretty much where it ends. Now in this case it's a little special because it's not two of the exact same sized knife, but it's they're both exactly the same knife. So that's why this one's going to be a little different coming to you. So the ergos on this one are amazing. I mean, there's a section here in the middle it's like a palm swell in the middle there, and it creates this comfortability that's just, I don't know, it's lacking in a lot of other knives that don't have that swell there. I kind of love that about this knife. This one definitely may have it in the ergos department. Now this one, see, the ergos are so different. This one fits better in the hand this way. So it's weird. This one's a tough one because I really like the feel of a knife that's just in my hand, and it doesn't hang over too much like this. That's just a kind of like how I'll say like the here, I'll just show you. So how Kambu typically designs his knives, they're very long in the on the handle, just strictly on the handles. So this one is crazy crazy long. I mean, from every angle this sucker is long. So you have a nice short one that will fit comfortably, I believe, in most people's hands. But then you have, whoa, look at the the length that this has on this. Oh my god, that's so funny. But this is the only artist or designer that I love that I will forever buy really long knives from, because his designs are just phenomenal. By the way, I had to add that because I just said how much I don't really care for a longer knife as opposed to one that's a little bit shorter but fits perfectly in your hand. So if they were to take these ergos and put them on this knife, as far as the contouring, I think this knife would end up perfect. So if you ask me, they should have put the contoured scales on this one. But when it really comes down to it, who wore it better, I'm going to go off of looks strictly here right now. And I'm going to say the orange one took it with the who wore it better, because I hate digital camo. But I also think it's not so much because of the digital camo, because I can't really... It wouldn't be fair to the knife itself if I said, well, it's ugly because it has digital camo. Because if it was just black, then I would have picked it over the orange, because I like black more than orange. So the only reason it's winning in this department is because I like orange more than digital camo. If they were equals and they both had digital camo, I would say the shorter one actually looks better. But there are things like the milling into the G10 where the finger placements are, or I believe that's considered a finger placement. So can have your finger back here and your index finger right here, you get a really good grip too. But yeah, I think that those little milling patterns in the G10 actually make it a little more attractive. So it's not just the orange, it's actually the milling patterns too. So, and they're on both sides, so that goes for lefties. Now, the pocket clips are both titanium, so what this would come down to is, here, let me put these away here. This is going to come down to, what do I like better? Do I like the more contoured? See, this is another thing where they should have reversed it. This pocket clip is contoured. It should have been put on this one. But, I mean, that's just me, I guess. It just would make sense to me. This one is also very flexible, but not too flexible. It's okay in the hand. This one is perfect in the hand. So I think that if I would choose this pocket clip, like the end all be all, definitely. I love the fact that they anchored this from the inside though, so that's always a plus in my book. But this one, this pocket clip is just, in my opinion, a better overall look and feel. So this kind of wins for more than one reason. So I think if these were both mine, I would switch this if I could to this, but I probably wouldn't be able to because of the way they mounted this one. But I think the end all be all with the Who Wore It Better, specifically just based on looks, I would have to go with the Digicam, honestly, because I like the pocket clip so much better. The Ergos are honestly like tremendously better because of the pocket clip alone. Also, I love the fact that the slot in the blade sticks out. It's way more proud of the scales, so I really like that. I think it's very attractive. So I really like that. I like the fact that it just feels more cohesive. This one, I still love the knife, period, so it doesn't matter to me which one's coming home with me or not. This one has a longer slot, but it's slightly more narrow, so this one actually has room to be smaller, but still outperform this one, actually, because they just cut the slot too short. So unfortunately, I guess the orange one is going to take the back seat to the Digicam in this case, because I think this one has more cohesive elements in the looks category and function. So that is today's winner of Who Wore It Better. Thank you for joining me. I hope you made it till the end. See you soon.